This is really and the way was my daughter like
I know.
You have to share soon. Can I go first? Okay, good evening. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. First up, we have the public hearing on the 2020-21 revised budget number 1. Mr. Haggerty.
Can't wait till we don't have to wear these masks anymore. Madam President, members of the board, fellow employees, and cyber guests. You have in front of you a summary of the major changes. Every year when we go through the process of revising our budget for the first time, it's always before December 15th. It's to change all of the balance carry forwards, because when we do the budget for the current year, we usually do a lot of estimates, carry forwards, different allocations. What you've got in front of you are some of the major changes that have occurred. I'll just go ahead and highlight some of those. We always build in growth. We've been growing here forever. We've been in the pandemic, and so have our kids, and so our enrollment numbers and our ADM is down. That's when we get our funding. So even though we projected a 1% increase, that didn't occur. Not only did that not occur, we're down by a little bit under 2% on our ADM. So this is only the first hit. There's going to be more coming in terms of our budget capacity. However, on the plus side is that we're going to get some grant money to help us with this. So all those things are not finalized yet. So when we do another adoption, we will incorporate all those into the final one. Will be May 15th. So there's a lot of applications that are going to be going on in the background up until then. But right now, we reduced our capacity by $1.5 million, and we're still in pretty good shape. Even with that, because we carried over quite a bit from the prior year more than normal. We also transfer about $300,000 of our increased revenues in a year over into capital, and we pulled that out this year because we don't have growth. So we do that in anticipation of having growth. Didn't occur, so we pulled it out. That's where you see that $300,000 figure. We got a nice little bump in our Prop 123 fund. Prop 123 is money that the state gives us that comes out of the land trust fund. Sorry, a little another break there. But it was approved by voters back in 2016. It's a 10-year program, so if you start doing the math on that, you know there's going to be a fiscal cliff coming sometime in the future. I believe I'll be retired by then. There's a small adjustment to our override. We always have projected just a little bit high, because sometimes the state comes up with some money that can affect that, and they've done that in the past at least once, that we were able to capture additional revenues as a result of that. But if it doesn't come in, then we reduce our budget accordingly. And of course, you can see the budget balance carry forward. Typically, we carry forward a little over $1 million to $1.1 million, and this year we carried over $1.5 million. When you look at our capital, we're also known as additional assistance. You'll see a monster number in there, $4,480,000 of our carryover. And the primary driver for that is the construction of our new school. We got funding from various sources that really helped us with this. We paid for things out of our capital fund, but then the state helped us out with some SMP funding. We got some reimbursements up to $2.5 million from the city and Taylor Morrison for the Joint Use Park program. So when you look at with that, that's really nice to be able to carry over that extra money, because it will also give us a cushion as we look at balancing ourselves going forward. So, and I'm speaking specifically to needs that we may have because of the pandemic. So it does give us a really nice cushion in there. So those are the major changes. Just very briefly, some of the grants that are going to be helping us. We've got the FEMA/DEMA grant. We're applying for those funds. We don't expect to get much out of it, but we did plug some money into the budget, assuming we're going to get some. Some districts have not even, don't even apply for it simply because of the restrictions are incredible on that, and the payback is not huge. So I know some districts that have not applied for those reasons. We're going to give it a shot and see what happens. The enrollment stability grant, right now, it looks like they're going to give us somewhere around $2 million. So again, that's good news. We'll be able to move some of our expenses out of it, and when they reduce our budget there to move into that grant in the current year. And then the ESSER grant, that it mirrors basically Title I. I know we talked about that when we adopted the budget. And we expect to roll those as we've looked at those funds. It looks like we're going to be utilizing that primarily in the prior year. We had some expenses we allocated there, but again, it's nice to have those funds available to us. And one that was really a nice, pleasant surprise is actually we got some money for our English language learners in the special grant in Fund 071. You'll see that in your supplemental in your budget. It's $391,000. So it was really nice to get those monies in. So we've had some real positives in spite of all the negatives swirling around us. So with that, I will stand for questions.
Thank you for your work on the budget. I happen to know that it's a little more complicated this year than in other years, just when we think we have it figured out, right?
I just had a seminar this afternoon about some of the grant funds.
Yeah, so learn something new every day.
Right. The goalposts keep moving. That's for sure.
They sure do. Thank you for staying on top of it.
Thank you very much. All right, Olivia, roll call.
Ms. Anderson,
Here.
Mrs. Berrigan,
Here.
Mrs. Sanborn,
Present.
Mr. Serna,
Here.
Mrs. Wood.
Here. Great, please stand for the pledge of allegiance and vote of poll.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It is recommended that the governing board approve the agenda as submitted. Can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And I have recommended the governing board approve the minutes of the November 12th, 2020 regular meeting and the executive session and the November 23rd, 2020 special board meeting.
Motion. Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Moving on to the superintendent's report, Dr. Sprout.
Thank you, President Anderson and governing board members. Tonight, we recognize a person who has served on Levine's governing board for 20 years. This is Isaac Cerna's last governing board meeting for now. You never know if he'll be back. Isaac originally joined the board in 1995. He has held numerous consecutive terms, and while he has taken a few breaks over the years, he has always remained incredibly supportive of Levine's schools, students, staff, and families. He is a key leader in the MC Cash community, and I have no doubt that Isaac will continue to find ways to bless the Levine community. We have a gift of appreciation for you there, Isaac,
Box of
to
cash.
say thank you. To recognize your leadership in our.
Oh, thank you very much.
Later in the meeting, Isaac will have the honor of swearing in our re-elected and new governing board members. President Anderson.
It does. Any additional comments we want to provide for Isaac? We really do appreciate your service on the board, and I know you will continue to make a huge impact in the living community. Thank you. Any other comments for Isaac?
I said everything last time. I've known Isaac for many, many years. He's been an advocate for the kids in our community from the day I met him. Thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you.
Sorry, I was waiting for Susan to say something, so I didn't get a chance to say anything before you applauded. You don't have to stand up again unless you don't really want to. Isaac, I would just say, I think that you are an example of a very important kind of leader, and that is that quiet leadership that you provide. And the reason I think that's so important, because when you do speak, it is really important to listen to what you're saying. You have a pulse on the community, and we all very much respect that. And we're gonna miss you on this board. We have, new blood coming in that offers all kinds of new things, but you will always be missed. And so maybe someday you'll be back, I would hope.
Well, thank you. And, they say it takes a village to build a child, and just want to thank everybody for being part of that village. And we'll all continue to do good work together. Thank you.
I think we should apply again.
All right, Human Resources has developed a program to recognize an employee group each Friday as part of their Pause for Applause recognition program. Health associates were recognized on October 30th, attendance clerks on November 6th. We then recognized our outstanding team of psychologists on November 9th. Next, we recognized our bus drivers and associates. And this week, we have recognized our child nutrition employees, so our Pause for Applause program. Our students in grades 3 through 8 and in-person K through 2 students participated in math testing during the weeks of November 16th. Students were administered math, reading, and language assessments. Our students successfully completed 15,000 test sessions. Teachers have been reviewing the data, analyzing growth from the fall to winter assessments, and working with students on modifying growth goals for the next testing term. The rest of our K students are taking these assessments remotely this week. And I will say, we are committed to being able to assess our students and see where they are. That is a right of our students. We need to know where they are, and we will continue to administer assessments for our students, and that's just a very important part of the work that we do. Another academic service update is on November 18th, the district's instructional coaches, which is an outstanding group of professionals, facilitated a virtual district-wide training on our new ELA program. Teachers met by grade level in different Google Meet sessions and reviewed the goals for student learning, standards alignment, and implementation strategies. Our coaches not only provided expert content knowledge, but also modeled engagement structures through the use of Google Meet breakout rooms. Meanwhile, our special area teachers and non-ELA content teachers were also able to collaborate through Google Meet training sessions on this day, reviewing strategies to increase student engagement through the use of digital tools. And yesterday, as you probably know, was a PD day as well, half-day PD. Our schools covered topics such as online instructional planning, analyzing assessment data, and creating strategic plans for the third quarter. So we continue to move forward with our PDs and training our staff, and Before I leave this topic, the person that oversees this is Kathy Davis, and happy birthday, Kathy! Many years, I think she finally passes me now in age, so. All right, our next is the last 7 years, Crosswalk Church has provided full Thanksgiving meals to Levine families in need. This year they provided over 100 meals that included a frozen turkey, boxed potatoes and stuffing, canned vegetables, and a pumpkin pie. Our front office teams identified the families most in need, and Crosswalk volunteers delivered each meal to the home. Cheatham Gardens have been revitalized thanks to several community organizations. Cheatham partnered with GreenDesert.org, an organization that teaches self-sufficient lifestyles, to get the project started. The Arizona Worm Farm donated 6 garden beds, and Arcadia Color Garden Nursery donated plants with seeds. The Garden Project is the school's first activity in creating a school that works collaboratively with the community to provide a safe space to learn and grow. GreenDesert.org produced a video on the project that is posted on the school's website. It is very fun to watch. It's a great 4 minutes, so feel free to check that out. Each year our trees are decorated with ornaments created by our students. This year, the ornaments are provided by Rogers Ranch students. The snowflakes are decorated by our self-contained students in Ms. Martin and Ms. Patina's classes. The reindeer were made by Ms. Redfern's 5th grade class. Art teacher Olivia Autumn-Reed designed the wreaths and the candy canes. These simple yet special ornaments are to help us all remember that sometimes it's the simple things that makes everything else beautiful, and you can see that right out there in the lobby. The Levine Community Action Committee hosted a virtual town hall meeting last night from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Senator Rios, State Senator Rios, Councilman Nowakowski, and Maricopa County Supervisor Steve Gallardo spoke briefly about state, county, and city resources. Participants were able to learn about the upcoming Levine Community Action Committee events and community resources from the following organizations: Phoenix Police, Phoenix Fire, Phoenix Block Watch, Urban Farming, Grand Canyon University, Phoenix College, Skillstruck, First Things First, Southwest Behavioral Health, and the Faithful City. And Fern Ward was one of the hosts for this meeting. It was played on YouTube, and we have 147 views at this point. So we're very excited about what's happening with the Levine Action Committee, Community Action Committee. Next are employees of the month. As a district benefits specialist, Bianca Altamirano assists employees with major life moments, which include welcoming a new baby, preparing for medical leave, or dealing with a family tragedy. The support that she provides to staff ensures they all have the information needed to take care of themselves and their families, which then allows them to care for their students and colleagues when they come to work. During the pandemic, Bianca has stepped up even more than usual to help district employees. She has led the way in helping to determine a process for assisting employees during this stressful time and ensuring that administrators know what to do when they are approached with questions. She has a true interest in ensuring employees are happy, safe, educated with benefits information while employed for the district. Bianca has taken the initiative to learn all there is to know about benefits by participating in trainings, doing her own research, and I've worked with her asking tons of questions. And she processes problems so well and has further developed our district benefits office into a one-stop shop. I hired Bianca, and we are so thankful for her and the impact that she has in this district. And she is our classified employee of the month. Let's give her a round of applause. Our next employee of the month, our certified employee of the month, is an outstanding teacher, Kim Riley, 6th grade math teacher at Vista del Sur Accelerated Academy. Ms. Riley goes out of her way to research and seek out advice, guidance, and best practices to ensure all of our students show proficiency in the state standards. She quickly adapted to virtual learning, creating lessons to meet the specific needs of her accelerated students. In addition to academics, emotional support is also a priority of hers. She realizes that in order to meet the needs of our kids academically, she needs to connect with them and ensure students connect with each other. She incorporates team and class builders with her weekly lesson plans. Most importantly, Ms. Riley believes that all students can achieve, and she will stop at nothing to make this happen. Ms. Riley also participates outside of the school day in numerous after-school activities and site-based communities. Kim Riley, our Certified Employee of the Month for November. Next, we have our classroom spotlight. Tonight, this will be presented by NC Cash School, and I will introduce our principal, Lisa Sandemeyer.
President Anderson, Governing Board, Dr. Sprout, and guests, thank you so much for allowing me to present the classroom spotlight tonight. Over the last few months, my colleagues have given you a glimpse into some of the amazing instruction that our teachers district-wide have been providing our students, both in person and online. However, in light of the holiday spirit, we're going to depart from that a little bit tonight. At MC Cash, we are a Kids in Hope school. And in a nutshell, what that means is that our kiddos know, because we teach them, that despite the challenges and the hardships and the adversities that are thrown at them, that with hope and with grit and with a caring adult behind them, they can reach their goals and dreams. They know that if they have hope, anything is possible. Now, quite honestly, at this stage of our lives, over the last 9 months, and all of the adversity that the pandemic has brought, I thought we could all use a little hope. So, we went out to our kids and we asked them, what does hope mean to you? Who or what gives you hope? And what do you hope for? Here's what they said. We hope you enjoy.
I am a kid at Hope. I am talented, smart, and capable of success.
I have dreams for the future, and I will climb to reach those goals and dreams every day.
Hope means to me, means happiness, and just happiness. It just relaxes me and tells me that I can be happy. I think that hope means something you want to always wake up and always have an opportunity. So I want to hope for a lot of stuff, and I want to accomplish stuff by having hope.
Hope is never giving up.
One of my aces is the 6th grader teacher, Mr. Plavik. The reason that he's one of my aces is because he teaches me stuff in a different way, and I understand him, and I will always thank him for that because he taught me stuff in a different way and made a difference in my life. That's the reason he's one of my aces. Thank you, Mr. Plavik.
grandpa is my ace because he always encouraged me and he always helped me with my hard times. One of my goals for the future is to have a family and have a job and a house and just be successful. My future goal is to be in the Army. Since I was little, I've always wanted to be in the Army, and that's been my dream since I was little. One of my goals for my future is to finish high school and go to college and have a nice job so I could support my family and I could become something in life.
The awesome aspects of this program is that every person on that campus knows their role in taking good care of kids, and it makes for an incredibly positive and affirming community at MCCAF. So thank you, Lisa, and to the MCCAF staff and community. One of our Kids Club managers, Suwanda Keaton, unexpectedly passed away last week. While she was presently assigned to Vista del Sur, she has worked at all of our school sites. She touched the lives of many children and their families. They knew she was going to help keep them safe and happy, and that she believed in them. Whether you knew her as Miss Kay, Miss Sue, Miss Suwanda Keaton, you knew she was going to be straightforward with you, and that she would go the extra mile for you. She was dedicated to our district's Kids Club and preschool programs. She always put the needs of others first in the normal days and during the pandemic. Her family is watching right now, and know that we send our condolences to your family, and I ask that we observe a moment of silence in her honor. Thank you, President Anderson.
Thank you. Thank you to MC Cash for your Classroom Spotlight. It's encouraging to be able to see that kids do still have hope for the future amongst all of our difficult times that we have right now. So even though things might have been a really crazy day, it was nice to be able to reflect on that. So thank you for presenting that tonight.
If I can just add to that, President Anderson. Unfortunately, I don't think all of our kids have an ace or a special adult at home, and it makes it all that more important that we have them at school. And we have incredible teachers and paraprofessionals and bus drivers and food service people and front office secretaries that are those aces in kids' lives. And while every school in the district may not be a specific Kids at Hope district, I know that we have that across all of our campuses. And Miss Kate was one for my daughter, and I hope her family is still listening because they should know how important a role she plays in children's lives. And she watched out for Reagan, and I very much appreciate that.
on to the current and proposed construction projects update.
President Anderson, governing board members, Dr. Sprout. I'm here to actually present the construction update. It's kind of like the Christmas story. It's construction past, construction present, construction future. So we will get started. So I've been working on this name because I got told I was pronounce it wrong. That's Straya Foothills, our new school. Right now we're finished with it, but as Ms. Sembrowski is talking with me about, we are going through the pains of everything starting up and things are not working properly, so we're getting those all fixed up. One thing I want to talk about tonight about this school, it is a park for the city of Phoenix. We met with Park and Rec a couple months ago with them. They are currently closed for all their parks. And as we were working through this one, this park will not be open until April right now. That's still tentatively. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully we can open that park up in April for the city parks for everybody that could be used that. I don't know if you had a chance to drive by there at night. I know this is by Ms. Bergen's new house, so she'll be able to see this. So this is a picture at, well actually this is actually in the morning, it's about 5:30 in the morning, because I want to get a good picture of what's out there. So so you can see this from the freeway, so it's actually really nicely lit up, that's all backlit. We do have one community member that's a little upset with us about not putting New Zealand and some other stuff, other islands on this picture.
Hawaii.
Cuba's not on here, so I mean, there's a few places on there, but I will say I appreciate the community really paying attention to our schools and kind of looking at what's really on our building, so that's kind of awesome. So that is the new school. So the Cheatham project, I actually was, when I was putting this together, I don't even know if Ms. Patsy realizes this, but I've been here for 6 years, and for all 6 years, I've been doing construction capacity for six years for 3 different schools. I don't know if she can build up to that or not. But we're trying to hit the construction here, I guess, so, yeah, so she's really good to work with, so you'll see some of the pictures here that is as we start going through this project. So as you all know, we've had monitors there since 2006, and usually a monitor is just a temporary classroom, and they're really only meant for about 5 to 7 years. Obviously, 2006 is a long time ago, so they are past their time. They are starting to kind of wear down, and one thing when I come here 6 years ago, it's been on our five-year capital plan for a while. And as Mr. Hagley talked about, as we're getting funding and with SFB supporting our new school, we have some funding that we actually can move over. So this actually is the 7th, 8th grade, or is the new 7th, 8th grade wing out there, because that's what the module is used for. This is currently located, or will be currently located on the east side of the campus, back by the Ramadas and back there, which is shown in the picture here. And as we go through these construction update pictures, you can see as we're building these, building it up is CMU. That is part of the building. So what we decided to do is try to marry it with the existing school. So realistically, when the modulars go away, you will really not know that this was not originally built there in 2003. Now, one thing that we actually started doing, we did this at Straya Foothills, is we actually started putting in astroturf or artificial turf. That's what my age is, astroturf. So, artificial turf there. One thing that the state come out with a mandate is we can't have any water sources within 10 feet of a footprint of a building. So what you do right here, when you have a basketball court close, you have really picnic areas close, and gravel does not work because it becomes a slip hazard at that point. This is a great product. It actually limits the maintenance of it. Really all it is just you blow it off and it's ready to go. Students can sit on this. They can actually watch the basketball games and really have an area that they can congregate when we get back closer than 6 feet. So, this is actually the interior hallways for the school, for that building. Before, the 7th, 8th grade did not have an interior hallway that they actually would go through. This actually is a 9-classroom building with its own group restrooms, and so they don't have to come out of there unless they go to a special or something like that. So this is kind of the open concept that we started with Sale Point, carried it through the new school, and now it's here at Cheatham as well. You can kind of see the colors as we go through there. One thing when we started talking about colors with Ms. Pashley, She wanted to kind of bring in the theme of school spirit, so that's why you see the colors that we did, because that is actually, Cheatham's color is black and gold or yellow at that point. This is one of the classrooms that we're putting in there. We carry the same theme into the classroom. So it's really bright yellow or black in the classroom, so it's really kind of nicely done. So that way we have that open feeling and more pride for the school. And as we started our renovations, so we were doing the construction there, the restrooms were original from 2003, but they were starting to kind of get wore out at that point, because it's a long time for restrooms. So as you can see, the restrooms that were there before kind of just bland restrooms, just not really much color in those. And as we start modeling those, we kind of carry that same theme throughout the whole campus. So literally all their restrooms now have that school color in it and mixed into the restrooms, where now we have a clean restroom for students to go to. Now, I'm not going to spend much time on this, so as we actually, there's a new code, so if you have a hard time sleeping, here's the code number that you can look at. This is just a really small portion of that. As we add new buildings, we have to upgrade the fire code to current standards. And current standards actually is voice-activated horn devices. So we had to upgrade the whole fire system at Cheatham. Now, Trailside Point, we actually started this in 2017. It's been out of warranty since that time. So it's been a long process to get to where we're at now. We are currently out to bid right now for the roofing system out on the new on Trailside Point. One thing we're also exploring too is the AC units are 14 years old, and part of this build would be for the contractor who is the winning bid will be taking the AC units completely off and putting them back on, which is literally 60% of the cost of a new unit. So we're actually exploring what would it cost for us to change up all the units out there at that point, and then we can start talking about that as well. But we started this back in November 2017, and like I said, we're out to bid, and it should be in next Tuesday, and we'll see who the winning contractor is, and hopefully start this project this summer and get that rocket rolling. That's going to be upwards to about $1 million to the school, to our district, that we don't have to spend. It's coming from the SFB. So that is a plus for us. Desert Meadows, this is actually the preschool proposed building that we're working on. We're really started kind of in, just starting the talks, trying to get that going through. We're proposing to put it in the front of the school, right in between the student drop-off and the bus drop-off. In the front, there's just a big retention area out front right there. This will allow us to use the preschool playground we put in about 1.5 years ago, and with add a couple more play equipment in there, but actually that's what we're proposing. This is the kind of the site map of that. It's actually going to be 4 classrooms, and then the other half is going to be classroom space, office space for psychologists. I think the idea here is to move like kids club, like Kim Tier in there, coordinator. It also will have a lobby for parents to come in and register for preschool, for kids club, all that kind of good stuff. So that's kind of what we're thinking there. And that's kind of like tentatively what the outside of the building will look like. Obviously, I don't pick colors, so I don't know if that's the colors we'll go with, but that's kind of where we're at with what we do. Yeah, Jill knows I don't pick colors. So, proposed construction for this upcoming 2021 season. Some of the stuff we're right now we're working with, trying to get quotes on, and we'll get that into our 5-year capital plan. Security upgrades. We are, and it kind of goes with the next item there is the card readers. At the new school, we actually put card readers in, and what we're finding is when somebody loses a key, and usually it was a key that gets us into the buildings, it's really hard to get all the locks changed out. And if you have a card reader system, you can literally knock somebody out in 1 second by just pushing a button, and they're out of the system, and then we can regenerate that card. It's actually a fraction of the cost than it would be for a regular key, and I don't have to bother any other employee at that point. So those two go hand in hand. So we are moving to the Bosch system, which is a security system, which will marry up with the card readers. The other good thing about this is we can actually determine who can come and who can go at any given time. So if the principal will be in charge of this for their staff, can have somebody come in on Saturday, or they don't have them coming on Saturday. It really depends on what they want to do. So it's actually a pretty cool system. We are moving into the era of IT and maintenance. So I know I'm working with Butch and Eddie on this program, and when we had our first initial meeting Butch was talking to one of their programmers and it kind of went right over my head, so I'm glad Butch is here. The other thing that we're actually looking at too is EMS systems for our watering system. We did a pilot program in Desert Meadows. In the first summer, we saved almost $5,000 of water costs because we had the system in place. So we're actually looking at, so the buyback is there. It's probably about a 2-year buyback, which is really good for any system that you want to put in. And at that point, we're actually making money on the system. One thing as we started looking at hand wash sinks and district-wide, we realized, and we knew it all along, but we kind of did a different system there, is putting in a hand wash station at Cheatham's cafeteria. If you remember when we built that school, it had a gymnasium, it's like a tapnasium, so we didn't really put a sink in there. Now it's 2 separate buildings. So we're actually proposing to putting a hand sink system in there. We put one in there tentatively. We're actually going to put a better system so that way the kids have better flow in there, so where it's sitting at. And then also too, what we realized was Vista Del Sur doesn't have any sinks in the classrooms at all. So right now we have temporary sinks, wash stations outside their classrooms, and we're proposing to put sinks in every classroom at that point. So Vista keeps construction going on every year. So, and then the parking lot reseal is what we were scheduled to do that over the summer, but then everything kind of, as everybody knows, kind of went haywire, and we didn't get that done, so we're proposing that again next year. Now, one thing we did about a year and a half ago, we actually put in bottle fillers. We were ahead of the game on this thing because everybody and their brother called me about where did I get my water fillers at. We actually put that in before all this happened. And so this number's a little low because obviously, as y'all know, we actually really been out of school for about 6 months. So, but we've saved over 101,000 bottles by just putting these bottle fillers in. So that's a lot of savings to the environment and to the trash system at that point. So that's something that's kudos on the administration for getting that done. So with that, I'll stand for questions.
I don't have any questions, just thank you for all the work that you do for presenting it to us. So if that was construction, past, present, and future, does that make you Ebenezer Scrooge?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yes.
Ask my staff. Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great, we'll move on to call the public. So Ms. Berrigan, would you read a couple of our call the publics for this item?
Yes, and just gonna read what our public participation policy is for those online. The call to the public is on the regular board agendas to provide everyone the opportunity to be heard. The governing board understands the importance of communication with the public and welcomes and values your comments, concerns, input, and praise. While the board does not respond to public comments, that does not mean that your comments will be forgotten or that the board does not care what you think. The governing board president will discuss them with the superintendent, and every effort will be made to answer your questions and to resolve your concerns. Thank you for caring about the children of the Lean Elementary School District and for taking time out of your busy schedule to address the governing board. And in this day and age, those public comments are sent in and we read them. So this is not me speaking. I will say who the person is who's made the comment. And these are their comments. And the first one is a parent, Linda Abeg. And she says, I'm writing to request that you meet again to reconsider the metrics for opening schools for in-person learning. I ask that you base your decision on the most relevant and researched data and not on guesses, fear, or peer pressure from other districts. Education is all about data-driven decisions. This is no different. I am not one to ignore COVID. Research shows that wearing a mask prevents the spread, so I wear a mask. Research shows that this current spike is largely fueled by in-home gatherings, so my family is declining those invitations and spending the holidays alone. Growing amounts of research show that COVID is not spreading in schools and that schools are the safest place for our children to be for many reasons. I understand that Maricopa County has recommended the metrics you are using. However, Maricopa County has failed to update its recommendation as research has evolved. Their metrics are not specific to what is happening in schools. I am unaware of any specific efforts Maricopa County is making to cater school recommendations to school situations, even after communicating directly with them about this. The goal in every industry right now is to carry on in a safe way. Levine was successful in keeping students and staff safe, so giving up after achieving that is counterintuitive. I am aware that there is a lot of peer pressure from other districts to stay closed. However, Levine's culture is not to follow, but to lead. Our district can think critically and do what is best for our students. However, if you are looking for good examples to follow for safely keeping schools open, you would be in good company with the districts and states below. Legacy Traditional School is open for in-person. Heritage Academy reopened on December 7th and is deciding on a school-by-school basis. Valley Christian's elementary and junior high schools are open and have yet to see an active case on campus in K-8. A letter with details has been sent to board members. Plain Creek is open for in-person. Higley Unified is open for in-person and is deciding on a school-by-school basis. Chandler Unified is open for in-person. You can see more about their plan on their website, which was also emailed to the board. Essentially, they are deciding on a school-by-school basis according to the percent positive in each school. For elementary, 2%, junior high, 1.5%, and high schools, 1.0%. A little further away, but just as relevant, Utah has put their children first and is prioritizing in-person learning. They make decisions on a school-by-school basis. You can see the plan and dashboard for their largest district, Alpine, with over 80,000 students, at their website, which was emailed to the board. The community has 19.5% positivity and their schools are still open. If numbers in a school increase, they will first move to a modified schedule with half of the students on campus. They will consider closing a school if its individual numbers exceed 1% positive. New York State, which has been dealing with this the longest and has put an incredible amount of resources and energy into researching the spread of COVID in schools, including hundreds of thousands of random tests of students and staff, has determined that schools should stay open. Governor Cuomo announced New York State recognizes that safely keeping pre-kindergarten through grade 12 schools open for in-person instruction is critical to student success and parent stability. In alignment with international and national experts, the state is committed to allowing schools to remain open as long as the school's infection rate is under control and remains under the infection rate of the community at large, particularly for younger students, i.e. pre-K to grade 8. His entire statement was sent to the board. When schools open, families that are uncomfortable with going back can stay home. The staff members who are uncomfortable being in person can be prioritized for virtual learning. I empathize with the teacher. I am a former teacher. I feel for employees in every industry who are concerned, but teachers are essential and, as the governing board said in its last meeting, the schools have been safe. I urge you to look deeper, follow the research decisions above, and say that when the infection rate is under control in a school and lower than the community's rate, schools should stay open. The state and county have put this decision in your hands, and we as community members put our trust in you when we elected you. Please reopen schools and only close them on an individual as needed basis. Our children need this. Thank you, Linda Beth. And then we have another public comment that is related to an agenda item from Adrienne Shivers. She's also a parent. Good evening, board members. I'd like to comment on the need to reconsider opening our campuses for in-person learning. I do not believe that the metrics being used to close schools are the only metrics worth considering. It was originally predicted that what happens in a school will reflect what is happening within the community. However, our school-based data has proven this prediction wrong. I'd like to ask the board if there is research that suggests that our schools, or any schools for that matter, are a significant contributing factor to the spread of COVID virus. Based on the data that is regularly shared on the number of COVID cases within our schools, I think it's critical to acknowledge that our campuses are safe for our students and teachers. Many schools and districts, both in Arizona and across the country, are starting to utilize more sources of research, data, and information when it comes to allowing schools to stay open. It is my opinion that these districts are a leading example of putting students' education and safety first. Making decisions out of fear or under the guise of being proactive is done at the cost of our students' learning. There is no data to suggest this proactive approach of closing schools as a preventative measure is justifiable. The true proactive success has been seen in our mitigation strategies by preventing outbreaks in our classrooms and campuses. The decision to close schools should not be made with a broad strokes mentality, but rather a justified, data-based, specific response approach. Take, for example, the Sioux City School District in Iowa. They not only are taking COVID on a school-by-school basis, but on a classroom-by-classroom basis. When a COVID case or cases have been reported, that student-specific classroom is considered first for moving to a 2-week virtual option. Beyond that, they will consider a larger campus closure again for a 2-week period. Your decision to close our campuses indefinitely is unmerited and poorly thought out. Please view their plan and she shares the link. Closer to home, the Chandler Unified School District has also moved to on-site learning with a school-by-school response to COVID. Here are more examples of schools that are willing to face the peer pressures of closure and reimagine how to put students' needs first by offering in-person options. Legacy Traditional School is open for in-person. Heritage Academy reopened on December 7th and is deciding on a school-by-school basis. Valley Christian's elementary and junior high schools are open, Quinn Creek is open for in-person, Higley Unified is open for in-person and is deciding on a school-by-school basis. If a family is uncomfortable with in-person learning, they have the option to stay online. You have taken away any option for the rest of us. You have also taken away the classroom experience from the teachers who want to be there. I'd like to request additional information. Can you provide us with any survey results from staff who want to stay in person versus go online only? As a former teacher in the Washington Elementary School District, I know that I would be devastated if the school board took away my ability to meet my students' needs in the classroom, especially if I was then also expected to perform my responsibilities while bouncing from in-person to inline, losing any sense of consistency without reasonable justification. 2021 is approaching, and with it, a new quarter. Please do not cave to peer pressure or be tunnel visioned into considering only one set of metrics. When our schools have lower COVID rates than the surrounding community, the schools should be open. As a board, you are not responsible for policing COVID within our community. You are responsible for putting the safety, learning, and well-being of the students and staff first. Thank you, Adrienne Sugars, parent of first and third grader at Paseo Point. And then we have 4 additional call to the public comments, but those are non-agenda item related, and so we will read those with the non-agenda call to the public.
Thank you. All right, moving on to the consent agenda. All right, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. All right, awesome. So now we're gonna move forward to the oath of office. So Isaac Serna, if we would have the honor to read the oath of office and swear in our newly elected and re-elected board members.
Come on.
You're welcome.
I'd like you guys to raise your right hand. Oath of office. I state your name.
I, Michelle Azar,
Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona,
and the Constitution and laws of Arizona.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and defend them against enemies foreign and domestic,
and against enemies foreign and domestic.
and I will faithfully and impartially discharge
And I will faithfully and impartially discharge
the duties of governing board member
The duties of governing board member
to the Maine Elementary School District
to the Maine Elementary School District
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Isaac. And congratulations, Dr. Watkins, for joining our team. And again, for Susan.
Carry yourself.
Thank you. All right, moving on. Motion to approve the 2021 revised budget number 1 is presented.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
It is recommended the governing board approve the transition from virtual learning to hybrid learning for special education self-contained and developmental preschool classes starting on January 4th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. It is recommended the governing board approve the change to the 2020 1, performance pay plan.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Any comments from the board?
Isaac, we're gonna miss you.
I'm gonna miss you too.
It's been a pleasure having Isaac on board. But we know where to find you too.
You can always come to any board meeting there. If you really miss us, you'll come see us. And to all of you guys in the room here, our administrators, you got a break coming up, please really take that break. Take that time with your family and try to not think about all the things you got going on. You've been doing that for a very long time now, so truly take a break. And thank you for all you do.
I got a few comments. First off, I'm an MC high school kid. And, you know, I went to school. A lot of us when we were kids, one never had anything to do with it. It was fortunate because, you know, I was able to not only change, but communal my goals and dreams. And it meant a lot. It means a lot. So let it dream, and it didn't look like true. I want to thank everybody here in the room, and to thank all the staff, parents, and especially administrators. You guys are a hell of a team, and just know the difference that you've made. From the time I got on board in 1995, way down here. Now we're way up here, and it's great. It's great to be part of it. And we'll continue to grow. And thank you. Thank you, everyone. That's it.
And I just have a few additional comments. So I just want to thank the community for just being consistent and communicating and sharing your ideas and thoughts. I know I read every single one and really do a lot of research and in depth as an educator and a parent myself. I know the importance of having kids in person. It is very important for them academically, socially, and emotionally. And so definitely taking the next few weeks to really continue to research and come up with a plan that we can discuss at January's board meeting of when we can resume in-person learning. And then just to continue, thank you for all the teachers and administrators, just what you guys are having to deal with right now. I know it's a lot of hard work, it's a lot of time, so make sure, like Ms. Aragon said, over the break, to just take time, pause, and just really look for that hope for the new year. So thank you for all the hard work that you guys do. And then we have a few more additional, call them for non-agenda items.
Okay, this comment is from a parent, Ms. Sharifa Rowe. And she states, I am a parent with 3 Black children in the Levine School District. These things all happened in one day, November 30th after the holiday break. There are always events of microaggression being a woman of color. It could be teachers teaching some outlier question about slavery and Civil War, or my kid feeling that the teacher is not calling on her because she can't remember or pronounce her name. But then today, my 9-year-old 4th grader is reading a book titled The Road to Freedom. While I'm glad the district is choosing to read more Black authors, in today's climate, a story about a mother and her daughter escaping slavery and pictures of auctioning Black people and being hunted casually with hound dogs is insensitive. And reading the story in the same fashion of reading a Judy Blume book is triggering, disheartening, and inappropriate in the sensitive time in our society. Hearing my child reading this with a small group without teacher guidance or context even of what they would be reading and or the sensitive subject matter is shocking and terrifying. I should have been told about it just as you would ask religious parents about sensitive context around sex education. This topic is sensitive and needs more thoughtfulness around it to support all children. But since I have no control for all children, I can advocate for my children. I am asking that the board provide options around slavery topics or even some heads up so we can speak to our children at home regarding the seriousness of the topic. And since me and my family have lineage connected to this curriculum, I would want the same sensitiveness, empathy, and compassion as you would talk about the Holocaust or any other issue that is sensitive and harmful for students and families. then Ms. Sharifa Rose sent an additional comment. Today I learned there is no process for public comment for the community to address the board. I was told that I was heard because someone would read my statements for me. I am so disappointed that the board was elected. It is now treating the community as if we do not deserve to be heard or have access. In fact, our only access is watching you through a video and hearing you read our comments with lack of context or conversation. This process is racist because it is exclusive instead of inclusive. And to not have a mechanism to hear from the very people who elected you is an abuse of power and unacceptable. Especially in one of the deadliest pandemics we have seen in our lifetime, and the community is reduced to giving you notes that you speak out loud back to us through a YouTube channel. I am so disappointed, and I am asking the board to figure out how to hear from people virtually, Zoom, Google, as well as identify a more clear feedback loop that doesn't treat the people like we are annoying and you are the Pope. I look forward to the board thinking through this and treating the community with the respect and access we deserve. A comment from Tawana Waddell, who is a parent. I have a 5-year-old granddaughter who is in kindergarten. In school, she is learning to read and do math. In math, they have only been introduced to addition, yet the math test was on double-digit numbers and subtracting. She hasn't even begun subtracting yet. Asking a 5-year-old to find and correct a misspelled word, what the definition of words are, what the meaning of a story is, and to add double-digit numbers and subtract numbers is way too advanced. A lot of the questions they were expected to answer were too advanced. Again, my granddaughter, just as well as all the other 5-year-olds, are in the beginning stages of learning, and this test was very unnecessary for them to take. I understand and do believe that children's progress should be tracked, however, this is not the way, especially for kindergarten. This test made no sense. So again, my question is, why is NWEA test put as a necessary part of the curriculum for kindergarten? And then another comment from a parent, Talia Waddell. My child is in kindergarten. She had taken several tests and I would like to know why. These tests are a little too advanced for a 5-year-old. I would like to know why they are required to take them. Also, the specials the kindergartners are required to participate in are also advanced. Art and music, both my daughter was expected to remember notes on a scale in different colors to make art. I would like to know what the people who write the curriculum are thinking when it comes to the younger children, because this makes absolutely no sense. I'm not sure if the teachers are involved in creating the curriculum, because if not, they need to be. They are the ones who are with these children in these classrooms, teaching them to learn. They should be involved if they are not. And that is all of our public comments for the evening.
Thank you very much for reading those tonight. Our regular meeting of the governing board will be held on January 7th, 2021. All meetings will be held at 5:30 p.m. unless otherwise posted in the Levine Education Center located at 5001 West Stevens, Levine, Arizona. And with that, do I have a motion for meeting adjournment?
Motion.